Hey campers, George here. Back from a little walkabout. Just went locally around here and just trudged a bit and was doing some thinking and decided it was time to start whittling on my big stick number 4. The other day when I went on that walkabout and tried out some bushcraft skills with my cold steel Trail Boss axe, I found this guy and been thinking about what I want to do with it. And what I'd like to do is make a tri-stick out of it. In other words, a hiking pole, big stick, that has all the notches, knots, things like that I can put on it for bushcraft. Make it a reference point for bushcraft, and also to give it some character. So I sat down and looked at some videos and came up with Doug Linker, I think his name is, and he's a carver, a whittler, and he's really good at it. Anyway, he had a video with a 5-minute project. And that project was to carve an old man face in a piece of wood. It got me thinking, maybe I can give my wood some character that way. So I watched this video, started it out. I just happened to have my Pocket Pal in my pocket. Funnily enough, this guy, my CRKT, I used this. And just, unfortunately, I hadn't sharpened it in a while, so it wasn't really sharp. But it got me through what I wanted to learn. What I did was just started it on the top here. And as you can see, I've been carving, and it's not very clean, it's not very good. But it's my test piece for the character for my Big Stick 4. And you say, well, you've already started, George. Well, this stick's a little long. I'm going to have to trim it down a bit. And that trim is going to be below that notch. This notch here. So he'll be disappearing. But in the meantime, I can practice on him and try out some of the things that Doug talked about. By the way, there will be a link in the video description below for you to go to Doug's channel. Excellent channel. Great guy. Very talented with a piece of wood. Right now, I'm actually going to build a fire because I got a bunch of wood that has fallen down with all the windstorms we've been having, and I've got to get rid of it. So I think I'm going to burn some wood, and while I'm doing that, play with this and see what I can come up with. I also brought some tools from my tool pouch, the Bushcraft way. Because if I'm going to be doing this, whittling and things like that, it's going to be when I'm outdoors, camping, walkabout, lunchtime, that sort of thing. So I need to be able to do it with the tools that I have in my toolkit. Let's see what happens. Things could be worse. So what I brought with me besides the big stick, this guy, and here you can see look at it. I have cleaned it up a little bit, got the bark off, and need to clean it up a little bit more, but got rid of most of the knots and things like that. And I brought my Bushcraft Popsicles bag, which has all my fire stuff in it, so I can burn that fire. One thing I did get, and I've heard a lot about these, is the Opinel. Is that the correct pronunciation? The Opinel knife. And a lot of people I've seen using this, so I thought I need to have a look-see at this guy. Why are they so popular? I'm going to try it out and then give you my thoughts on it in another video. And then I have an old-timer whittling tool, which has a bunch of stuff on it. Same thing, once I've played with it and figured out what all these little things are for, I'll do a review on it. I got to practice before I say anything about it. So that's what I brought, and a pencil. I'm going to start playing with this guy. First thing I'm going to do is get the fire going. Well, now we got the fire going. Let's play with the wood. But I will say this. This knife, this back edge, is so sharp. That was probably the best, quickest, and easiest spark I've ever got out of the back of a blade. Maybe I'm starting to see why people like this guy. I want to play with this piece of wood and think about what I want to do with it. And of course I want to try and finish up this face, not perfectly, but at least get it almost done so that I know what I'm dealing with. I got to figure out the right tools and everything. I'm going to try this old timer and this guy, and let's see what happens. You got his nose, his mustache, his mouth is going to be here, his eyes will be here, and then some kind of a hat on him. Let me get closer for you so you can see what I'm saying. So you got nose, mustache, the eyes will be here, eyebrows above it, and then some kind of a hat on him as well. And maybe I'll put a beard. But I just want to get some character out of him, get an idea of what I'm doing, and of course see what I can do with the old timer and the opener. Well, now that the smoke has changed direction, really, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So I just want to clean it up a bit. So I want to see if I can clean this up with a sharper blade. Wow. I want to make this a little deeper. I'll put a stop cut there. Let's put some character on his nose here. Give him a bump. Into there. Oh, that felt like, oh, look at that. Oh, my bad. I felt the blade move, and I had moved the circle, the holder that holds the blade. Oh. Gonna have to work on that. And I need to get my fire going. Well, it's getting kind of dark, so the fire is almost out. I've been carving, and this is where I am. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. There he is there. It's as far as I got. Not as easy as it looks, but it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I thought having the sharp tool, the opener, would work, which it does. It works great. It's really sharp. It's just too long. And I'm wondering, it's a number 8, I think. I wonder if they have a shorter bladed one that might work better. The old timer, kind of disappointed. It seems that nothing's really sharp on it. It has all these different tools, but nothing seems sharp. Well, I don't know how to use it. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, let me explain to you what I'm going to do with my staff. So like I said, I want to give it some sort of character. Not this guy, but this was my practice to see how well the wood does. I think that's one of the problems. It's a hard wood and very short grained, so it tends to break a lot. When I say break, it gets all not fuzzy but spiky, and when you try and dig things away, pieces break off. But if I go slowly, I think I'll be okay. Anyway, for the rest of it, I'm going to leave this area here to last, which is going to be my character guy. I want to do a little bit more practice with it. So from here to here will stay plain. The rest, I'm going to put, this is a pretty big stick. It's pretty wide. I actually like the size of it, but it might be a little bit bigger for a lot of people. But I'm going to be able to make some really big notches in it. But I can over-exaggerate them to show them on here. The different notches and different cuts. Things like that. Square, round, circles, put a hole through it. All these different notches, I want to put them down here. I'll work from the top and I'll work down. The other problem that I came across was it has a crack in it. Can you see that? Right there. At first I was like, oh, there you go. We're done with this stick. But then I thought, it's a perfect time to do some binding practice. I think I'm going to use some bank line and wrap it. And hopefully that'll hold together. I might get some wood glue or something and put it in there and then wrap it really tight. Just to show a wrap. Because why? It's a bushcraft stick. And I want to be able to show all these different things. I want to put knots on it as well. Typical knots that are used in bushcraft. And I think that'll be part of the handle. I'll do a wrap for the handle and then maybe have some things hanging off it, maybe from the bottom, not from the top, because it just gets in the way of your hand. From the bottom with different knots and things on it, maybe using those knots make some sort of pattern out of them. We'll see. But that's the plan. Notches, knots, and some character. Hopefully it'll work out. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back with the rest of it. And I'll probably show, it'll be too long a video to show the whole thing and it's going to take some time. But maybe I'll update you as I go, or just save it for one big video and cut it down as much as possible. Just saying. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.